My hope for climate action over the next 5 years is very simple. We need to stop treating climate as a narrative exercise and start treating it as a matter of financial truth, but also a human reality. In my role at MHA PLC and over the last 15, 20 years in audit accountancy and advisory and also latterly in education, I've seen very quickly how behavioral changes when something becomes auditable, regulated, and inextricably linked to capital. That's exactly where climate needs to now go, because right now there is still a fundamental gap between what organizations say about climate and what is reflected in both their financial statements, their modeling, and also sometimes what is also linked to investment decisions. The next 5 years, we must close that gap. Climate risk needs to be embodied alongside every other material financial risk, fully quantified, independently regulated and assured, and transparently reported. Transitional plans, alongside the way in which businesses report, must be costed, deliverable, and not just be ambitious, but be measurable. And the UN SDGs, their principles are about transparency. I think that's where they started. But for me, it's not just about all of that systems, processes, and procedures. It's about the people. We are an organization where 80% of our cost base is effectively people. Through my work in education in rural communities, both in the UK and more globally, I see both the risks of climate change and the opportunities for the next generation as really, really important. We are a particular generation, but it's the next generation, the young people, and particularly those outside major urban infrastructure centers across the world who have the skills, the confidence, and the pathways to be part of that solution. We need to think outside of the norm. I often think that people say they work outside the box. I think you need to live outside the box, whether that's in sustainable finance, agriculture, energy, IT systems, local enterprise. Transition must be inclusive. I see businesses as the conduit to act for managing both the complexity and uncertainty, but also providing those pathways. And organizations such as RELX and other major corporates in the world are custodians of that. They're there to bring clarity, discipline, trust, but also bring and build capability that supports climate ambition into everyday decision making. If we get this right, and it is important, and we can, capital will move faster, trust will increase, and action will then by default follow. Because ultimately, climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it is a very real issue that affects us all in our everyday lives. Whichever way you think about it, it is not just about climate change per se. It is a test whether our financial systems and our society can adapt quickly and fairly to meet the biggest challenge we face in the world. And over the next 5 years, we can prove that we can. And I always say it is only impossible until it is not. Thank you.